Hello friends, welcome to my Princess Diana channel. Before moving on to the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so let's move on to the video. It was the latest long extended version of What Has Been, by Lady C, Meghan's mother, joining me as he lets us know what has been the dark past in her journey with Meghan's pregnancy. As everyone knows, Lady C has written a book of the title Meghan and Harry, The Red Story. And with her latest statement in Chapter 8, I had a lot of interest. And what shocked me the most was the revelation about Doria, Meghan's mother. Lady's revelation in the chapter shows Meghan's mother is addicted to something. And what do you think is the story of this real problem? Let's see into that a bit. Meghan had the most miserable childhood, for her mother was absent, more like abandoning her through her childhood. Every time Meghan had grown up, she would appear and force her to go to a nude spa in Korea. That's bad, but not as bad as when she tried to put all that cocaine into her system when she was pregnant with Meghan, right? Pushing it a bit, Meghan was born in 81, that the early 80s. If Doria did drugs, she was conspicuously and consistently absent from Meghan's, was she not? I mean, maybe the actual reason for due to the substance abuse, which affects the fetus. Like maybe it could be narcissistic, but other times, maybe it's just due to stupid stuff, like being asinine. Says lie as if the truth won't come out. I feel like laughing at substance abusers and their sadness. And Lady C's suppositions are not devoid of evidence. She has sources from the neighbors who could feel the smell of drugs. Another big request she has is, calls the neighbors who feel the drugs, for example. Another source may be the family of Doria, where her nephew gives an interview. With the recollections, he also spoke of a happy child, Meghan by name, whom he spoke many recollections and also had a photo. Also, I have heard such stories that during that time, Doria had one child and had no even wish to raise it at that time. Was Meghan born in some warehouse? If she happened to be born at some U.S. hospital, then probably there would be records with all the treatment information up to the 18 plus the social services all into her life. Allegations like this would entirely change the narrative of her being a victim of racism. She is a spoiled child. I have also worked with children who are drug abusers and suffer from fetal alcohol syndrome, where consequences on the neurological and cognitive level affect all areas of the child's development. But then look at her surroundings and the fact that, as a child, she is living the meaning of entitled, spoiled, precocious. I was thinking that maybe Meghan was a preemie. More often than not they are, and have health problems, specific to development of the brain and the lung. I guess that would explain birth defects. I'm not even trying to be mean. Her legs, arms, bone structure looked like it could be birth defects. Apart from chronic mental illness, I always wonder if she is suffering from other chronic disease. I think armchair diagnosing someone like this is dangerous. Becoming a drug addict is not a symptom of your mother smoking while you're in the womb. I mean, it would be too harsh to call Doria a weirdo. I don't say that statement, and I don't believe in it. I'm the one to be inclined to believe it because, as I've heard, Doria is still using drugs. That was just an excuse that she used before. Doria's drug addiction clearly correlates with Doria's instability in employment, housing, as well as the ability to parent. That could also be another explanation for the other. And guess what? Years back, I have read a biology book composed by American high school students. I was really surprised by the fact that in this book there is a lesson about taking drugs and harming the body. The content covers the common substances, their chemical composition and the influence they impose on the brain and the body. Black and white, crystal clear as the day, cocaine is not addictive. I have a habit of always keeping books. And years later, when I found it and re-read that chapter, I shuddered, some parts of what they teach in American public schools. I don't know if that happens in the world, but, I suspect, that's the part of education that looks tragic to my mind. And I still remember what my mother said about the 70s, it was worth considering. When the teacher went on to say, it is like a filter, which stops the harmfulness from reaching the fetus, then I thought it was a load of hooey. I am worried about the one fact that the mother of 2 generations has been, and continues to be, smoking and drinking in less vehemently about clear points of something dangerous to health and the baby in her womb. Well, perhaps it is. It does attest, that perhaps even at that very early time of their history, there were some people who were queer. There'll be Meghan's mother, Doria, as I read in that book. Maybe she was also taught that drug use is harmless to the body. Frankly, at that moment, I felt uneasy blaming Doria, as in all likelihood, any other mother would have done the same. Well, blame the toxic upbringing once again. The character of the truth of that time, the end of the 70s and the beginning of the 80s, is alcohol, and drugs are something from which no one could escape. But a lot of women from that period, they finish depend on it. The doctors also prescribe the use of it so as not to be sick. But apart from those who smoke in general and during pregnancy, there are those who quit smoking while pregnant. Coke is not that. Firstly, I won't justify, but it happened so, and it had affected the full generation. I also heard a lot from my mother about thalidomide children who told a lot of horror stories. Secondly, my mother is very interested in telling me horror and trauma stories of the second kind, with all kinds of deformities. What about the palace side? I think everyone in the royal family knows the background of Doria, therefore, had to welcome her so many times. He filled in some. No wonder for that. The Queen, when she became a tan, always wore that terrible shade of green and looked as she did. Harry starts pulling in the trash, and they're supposed to be conventional. I guess the palace helped bury it in Rachel's request. Rachel does a serious PR for her before the wedding, getting presented as some sort of social worker, while Doris isn't even licensed at the work of social work and does yoga on the side. About how she doesn't know where she was but thought that she did seem like she was out for a while. What were Lady C's suspicions in her video that everyone's so angry that Harkles want to sue her to? That was a couple of weeks ago where Lady C openly dared Harkles to take legal action against her on one of her films, was it? What does she have to say? Sue me, sue me, sue me. Lady C has unquestionably crossed the argument of, I will be very cautious, and is now solely focused on, getting Harkle and Meghan into that courtroom to testify under oath. Additionally, I must admit that Lady C is correct. Lady C is extremely exact, but she is also incredibly cautious. This is applicable to Chapter 8, where she provides phenomena like the unusual, day-to-day variations in the size of Markle's baby bump, which is unproven. What I forgot was the infamous Birkenhead incident. It dropped down on camera, only for the bump to be in place again in Markle's next appearance on the day. What I understood is that it was right after Birkenhead when Markle claimed that she was suicidal as a result of people in the press saying things about her and how he sought to muzzle the press to protect her. It is starting to look like the suicide claim was a tool in her arsenal to get the media to back off from reporting and speculating on what they had seen when the bump fell. Because if they had not, they were literally going to have her blood on their hands if she had committed suicide. Lady C said there was film on the bump being uploaded to the internet, and no one could silence or bully the net. It was also weird that the pregnancy used to be 8 months. Markle in high heels, knees together easily bends down and easily takes a stand. The obstetrician that she claimed was hers for Archie is out of the country at the time Archie was born. Lady C rejects her lies of why she couldn't pose with the baby outside Portland Hospital when they returned. Lady C, as usual, simply and carefully lays out all the facts in the long chapter, and we are left to deduce the truth. It is a very clever way to avoid prosecution. And everything, indeed, spoke about the fabricated pregnancy. If the subscriber agrees to a 30-day free trial when signing up with Kobo. Then, based on this incident, I have several sentences regarding the trial with Samantha Markle, Meghan. That is, the moment of weakness of Lady C, Samantha Markle, cannot but worry me. In fact, in terms of her legal provocations, it turns out that Meghan can end up in court only if she distorts the truth. It seems that Samantha and the entire sub, which includes me, are interested in that Meghan was tried as soon as possible. For after there's not on doubt she's caught, the trial, the discovery and testimony would start, after which we all drug dealers knew about Meghan's bad behavior, and including the claim against Samantha. In general, it is likely that Sam lied only about the possibility of Meghan going to court. In this sense, the driver's plan was the most successful. I am more or less influenced by the fact that Samantha Markle is telling the truth. This becomes clear from both sides of the debate. Yet, at the beginning of Sam's thoughts about Meghan, it turned out to be true, but at the moment, she has all the reasons to lie. Meghan was so guilty of lying to her and intimidated Meghan to court to Markle. Well, consider the fact that there is a defense in this statement if Meghan uses what she used when some activists show how she was a horrible child. If she is about to tell me there is no sister, and she is like an invisible person, then Sam can very clearly say she saw Doria holding a smoking ice pipe. And you? What is your opinion of smoking in pregnancy when giving birth? I think, probably, even if Meghan goes far from her mother, she has it in her blood. It also makes me worry about Archie and Lily when these children are in darkness. Maybe Meghan also smokes and drinks like her mother and does harm to these children. That is not for sure either. However, I already feel sorry for those dark children of Harry and Meghan. I hope they are safe and peaceful. I think, summarizing what we just discussed, that it definitely opens and gives, would say, a lot of intriguing, interesting, deepening our understanding. Perspectives. Your opinion is the most valuable here, as it makes our talk full and rich of directions and content. That's it for our video, my friends. I hope you have liked it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like the video. If you haven't done so yet, if you want to be first to be informed about my content, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.